Hello friends, welcome to Root to Fly, your home for spiritual insight, mindfulness, and inspiration. Today we're seeing what you have to look forward to in March 2026. There are 4 options. Option number 1 with the smoky quartz. Number 25, Our Lady who sends the angels. Option number 2, number 1, Our Lady of the Sacred Hearth with the indigo gabbro. Option number 3, number 22, Our Lady who prevents interference with the black tourmaline. And finally, option number 4 with the topaz crystal, number 4, Our Lady of ripening on the vine. Take a moment, see which one calls out to you. There will be timestamps in the description box down below. Let's get right into it. Bye. If you chose Our Lady who sends angels with the smoky quartz crystal, this is your reading for what March 2026 is going to bring to you. I'm going to pick up whatever and read about whatever comes through, whether it's pertaining to love, career, or whatever else. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Please be sure you're subscribed, like down below, comment, let me know how it resonates. All right, what does relationship dynamics is already trying to come out, so this may have a lot to do with love. Oh my goodness, these cards are just jumping out. March 2026 is going to be a very active month for you. Option number 1, a lot of energy. I see since relationship dynamics was the first card popping out, and I see these 2 doves, peace doves, sitting next to each other on a branch. I do think that a lot of opportunity to connect romantically with someone, or even just friendship wise, is going to happen for you. You're stronger than you know. What does smoky quartz need to know for their highest good in March 2026? What is March 2026 bringing to my smoky quartz? What is March healing from the past? What is March 2026 bringing for my smoky quartz? One card at a time, please. What is March 2026 bringing for my smoky quartz? Memories. Okay. And then bottom of the deck, new exercise program. So, for many of you, I think that you've been burned in relationships or struggling with relationships in the recent past, but this stems from all the way back from childhood, and it's probably even ancestral energies that are contributing to the relational patterns and struggles that you've had. And there's something that's going to spark new routines for you that help you to get up and over this feeling of being cursed in love. And it's gonna bring a lot of harmony into your connections. You're going to be reflecting on a lot of friendships, relationships, just challenges in relating with others from all throughout your life. And also successful connections, positive friendships that you've had that you've just, moved or outgrown in some way. You're going to find a balance, and you're also going to find some clarity about who you were and who you are, how you show up in relationships. You're going to be feeling more attractive and confident in your body through your own will. And when I see new exercise program, I get this sense that you're creating a better relationship with your own body and your own movement, and the way that you take care of yourself is coming from a place of self-love rather than needing to fix something. And then that's going to translate into how you show up in relationships. You're not going to see your relationships as something to fix. You're going to see them with love, just pure unconditional love. And anything you do in the relationship, the way you communicate, the way you treat others is going to come from unconditional love and not fear and not a need to improve or fix anything. Let's get some tarot. What is coming for option number 1 in March 2026? What is coming for option number 1 in March 2026? 9 of Cups with the 5 of Wands, number 44, number 26. There's this sense of alignment, harmony that keeps coming through. A lot of you will... 44 is like the angel number. And then Our Lady who sends the angels. So many of you will feel very supported in the spiritual realm by angelic energy. And you will put an end to any conflicts that you are having, and you'll be able to take a more zoomed out perspective in your relationships to see that there's room for everybody to be happy. You'll be experiencing a lot more win-win situations. And it starts with you feeling content within yourself. And I feel like angelic energy is really trying to enter into your experience to help you feel more supported and happy and aligned from the inside out. What does Smoky Quartz need to know for March 2026? What's coming up for Smoky Quartz in March 2026? Knight of Pentacles. And so whereas in the past there may have been this feeling that you needed to rush to get out ahead of things, and you like wanted to, like maybe you felt like you had to fight for yourself to be heard, or you had to overwork so that you could be ultra independent, so that you can do everything on your own. You will realize that there's a balance wherever you are, whether you are independent, whether you're interdependent, whether you're codependent upon another person. You'll find that there's going to be a healthy balance between give and take. That's not going to happen overnight. Like, you're not going to go from being ultra independent overnight to sharing, all responsibilities with another person, and vice versa. You're not going to go from being dependent upon other people to being ultra independent overnight. But you're going to find a balance that doesn't just feel good to your pride or your ego, or it doesn't come from a place of fear of relying on someone or fear of being alone. It's going to come from a place of, this is what's right for me, this level of interdependence, this level of, I can rely on this person for this, and I can show up in this way and provide this thing, and I respect and appreciate that person, they respect and appreciate me and what I bring to the table, and we're building something, if that's what you choose. Or maybe you do choose to like be alone, but you still want to incorporate moral support from others. You know, whatever it is for you, you're going to find that healthy balance. You're going to have understanding about it, and then you're going to accept where you are in relation to what you really desire to have. So if you're in a place where you're dependent upon someone else financially, as an example, well, you're going to see, and you're going to see that, oh, I want to find a little bit more independence. You're going to have a clear plan about it, and then you're going to be taking steady actions little by little, without having to rush, without having to fight for it, without feeling stuck. It's going to be, okay, this is my plan. I'm facilitating it because I see what's right for me now. And it's going to come from a place of just being happy where you are and not trying to rush into the next chapter, but just noticing and respecting that this is the next chapter for you, and being in that process. All right. Let's get some more. What does my smoky quartz crystal need to know for March 2026? What does smoky quartz crystal need to know for March 2026? What does smoky quartz crystal need to know for March 2026? Wow, 10 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. So, let's start here. Yeah, so whereas in the past, I get this really strong sense of overwhelm, especially when it comes to like finances and relationships, and how your relationships, how you divvy up finances in your close relationships, like with those that you cohabitate with. And so this can be like friends and roommates, or you know, your partner in life, or even family if you're living in your family home. And you wanting something different, but just feeling overwhelmed by what is, and having resentment towards the way it is. So, and then for some of you, that's going to be a lack of connection and a lack of help in that area. And so you're going to find some clarity about, like, you know, how can I overcome what is? And you're going to realize that it's through first accepting that, embracing that there are possibilities, there are opportunities out there for you to have exactly what it is that you want. And you can make the plan without feeling limited and brought down by your current circumstances. And then from that point forward, you're going to balance the ways that you've been showing up out of fear, that you've been showing up out of pride, or any feelings that are not truly authentic to you. Out of anything but hopefulness and clarity towards building that and making that next step. And then you're basically just going to make it happen one step at a time. And I see this resulting in a lot of, for some of you, you're building businesses. For some of you, you are building partnerships. For some of you, you are really creating a new framework. You're getting back into your spiritual practice or your religious practice in a way that supports you and makes you feel solid and makes you feel stable and helps you to embrace work, the work that's necessary for you to fulfill your potential and fulfill your desire, whether that's work in relationships, whether that's work in business, whether that's work in a career, whether that's just inner work. And it's not spiritual bypassing. And what I mean by spiritual bypassing, you're not just, you know, sitting and daydreaming about, because in the past I feel like there was a lot of maybe visualizing your manifestation without taking any action. But here you're going to actually, you've already done the visualizing, and that was an important aspect of it. And now you're matching your actions with your visualizations. And materializing everything that you've visualized. And even though it does still take physical work, it's not going to feel like difficult or drudgery. It's going to be slow, but you're supported by the angels, and there's a reason why you have to go through these motions rather than things just like falling into your lap. And the real reward that you get is not in the material coins or the money or the like actually achieving the thing that you have your mindset on. The real reward is going to be what you get through the process, who you become, and the spiritual lessons and connection and faith and self-assuredness that comes from that process. All right. Any other messages for smoky quartz for March 2026? What else does smoky quartz need to know for March 2026? What are the final messages for smoky quartz for March 2026? Final messages for smoky quartz for March 2026. You're overcoming a lot of drama, a lot of conflict, of just that made you feel, even when you were doing all the right things and you have so much to actually be grateful for and celebrate and to be proud of about yourself, there was a lot of conflict that made it, that rained on your parade and made your happy times tinged with something sour. And it was all based on illusion. And I think that illusion, it's been kind of plaguing you and probably your family, your childhood family system, and probably your ancestors for generations. And it's just this illusion of separation. It's kind of you versus me and them versus us, and rather than just sitting with the presence of the divine, which is always unified in divine like presence, that we can always tap into and become one with and see everything as whole and connected. So it's a very spiritual process that's happening, but the results are very logical and realistic, because it helps you to be the bigger person when there's conflict in your life and to see things from the most rational perspective. Even though that concept of we are all one feels really kumbaya and woo-woo, it's actually going to settle your mind in a way that you can be more passionate. And just like she's painting here, it's going to give you space to not be in the weeds I feel like I've given this message before, like exactly how I'm giving it right now, but I don't know where it would have been. But anywho, you won't be so much in the weeds of trying to fix everything in your life, and then you'll find genuine creativity that's going to free your mind from the oppression of that illusion that you've been living in. So you're going to recognize that when you fight, you're only fighting with yourself. And when you love, you're loving yourself. All right, final message from the secret language of light. What is option number 1, smoky quartz? What do they need to take away going into their March 2026? What is the most important message for option number 1, smoky quartz, going into March 2026? What is option number 1, smoky quartz, need to take into March? Expansion number 44. I was talking about number 44, bottom of the deck, 22, divine animals. But I did point out number 44 as the angel number. The angels are present with you. If you call upon the angels, they're going to really guide you through this healing process that you're undergoing. Let's read the message in the book. All right. It's something really mystical happening that's going to have really tangible effects. Okay? Travel at your own speed of light. Are you keeping up with your life and all you want to create, or are you holding yourself back with what ifs or buts? You limit your life through your beliefs. Everything you say and everything you do becomes true for you and is the platform on which you build your life. The playing field of life is unlimited and loving. You are unlimited, loving, and wondrous part of creation. You are perfect, right here, right now. You are different and therefore think differently to last week, last year, last decade, and yet you will always be you. What you are observing is your view. It is neither right nor wrong, but a way to become clearer about what you like and don't like, so you can choose what to focus upon. The events and experiences of your life will grow in meaning as your consciousness expands. Learn to focus and dance in time with the energy and speed of your desires, and they will arrive easily in surprising and satisfying ways. I feel like this is a very mystical pile. I almost can't find words, and the energy of it is coming through me. And I feel like that's what you're going to experience by the end of March 2026. Your words are going to come from a deeper place. Your actions are going to come from a deeper place, and it's this union and dance with the universe, and it's not trying to will things or force things to happen. You're going to find a lot more flow and alignment with things, even things that don't necessarily feel desirable, and you're going to be not forcing yourself to do practical things, but the practical things that you need to do you're going to do them with more ease. You're going to accept them. You're going to embrace them rather than procrastinate. And once you handle that, you're going to just enjoy life and do things that make you feel happy and help you express your soul. And as you just embrace life as it comes from the outside and embrace life as it comes from the inside, you will find harmony, and your goals on the material level will start to get closer, and your wealth will increase. On the other hand, the goals of your soul and the things that you want to create and the message you want to convey and your insights and who you are, the way you express yourself, that will also become more clear, and you will feel all around more so like you're living and like all is well and as it should be. Anything else that I need to express here? I feel like there's going to be a balance with your sexual energy. You're not going to give it away freely. You're going to channel it into only the things and the people that matter. When I say sexual energy, that's also creative energy. And instead of resisting certain duties and commitments, for example, paying taxes, like that's the most unspiritual thing, you know, and sometimes we find ourselves in jobs or career paths and they seem so unspiritual, but you're going to accept it for what it is, do what you need to do, show up, do your best at it, don't overdo it, don't resist it. And then when you're not fighting with it, it's going to free up a lot more space to channel that energy into what does feel right. All right, option number 1. I'm going to close your reading. I wish you a blessed and joyous March 2026. Don't forget to comment down below. Let me know how it resonated. Subscribe to this channel and like this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose the Indigo Gabbro Crystal and Our Lady of the Sacred Hearth, number 1, this is your reading for what March 2026 has in store for you. Let's get right into it. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe down below. What does March 2026 have in store for the Indigo Gabbro pile? What does March 2026 have in store for the Indigo Gabbro option? What does March 2026 have in store for the Indigo Gabbro option? Wow, so you are called to move on from something. There is a calling within your soul, within your body. You can't sit still. Your body is leading the way, especially your heart. There's a sensation in your heart that is welcome the new. Wow, 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 wow. Something big is coming. You are guided to move forward, changing your mind of an era. Spiritual growth, welcome the new. Peeking out is get some rest, and it's keeping to that same color scheme that we have going on with the orange and red. When I see orange, red, yellow, that talks to me about the heart chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the root chakra, and the sacral chakra. And it's an orange pinky, so that's also, and then the greens in the back, that's also why I think about the heart. So your heart is going to convey this message to you about what needs to happen next. And you are being called in March 2026 to go within through meditation, asking yourself questions and feeling the message that your heart brings to you about which direction you need to move into, and a lot of things are going to be coming to an end that you thought were for you, and it's going to really shake things up and make you're going to have to reinforce your foundations that come from the inside out, because your physical foundations and the things that you've been relying on and calling home, it's going to be different. And that, you know, and I mean that not necessarily on a physical level, but you might be moving physically, but it could also be on an emotional level, like the people or that you saw as your people, you know, you might not be able to rely on them in the same way anymore. What's coming to mind is how, you know, when maybe say you grew up in a small town your whole life, and then you graduate and you choose to go off to college, or you get an opportunity out of town, and like that Paramore song, ain't it fun living in the real world, ain't it good? That's like this feeling that's coming through, but it is like that song's a bop, like, and it's bittersweet energy, because what made you feel comfortable before, it's not there, but it's all for the purpose of growing spiritually, and it's all divinely guided and for your highest good. Let's get some more insight. What is coming in March 2026 for pile number 2? What is coming in March 2026 for pile number 2? 3 of Cups. What is coming in March 2026 for pile number 2? The Hanged One. What's coming in March 2026 for pile number 2? You might be beginning a new course of study. You might be moving. What's coming in March 2026 for pile number 2? Indigo Gabbro. 4 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. You're not vibing with your social circles, your friend groups. I don't even really see that there's like a move. I feel like something's gonna happen that makes you feel discontent with your surroundings. Maybe you're gonna have a major shift in your mindset, and it's just like inexplicable, and it just happened so viscerally from within you. Maybe you're changing your mind about something, like your views and opinions are changing, and so you don't necessarily fit in with the people around you, because you built this connection based on having shared mentality, but now it's different, and you don't know just exactly where it's headed. You just know that this doesn't feel right for you anymore. And so you're going to make this big leap of faith that may feel pretty self-centered, or may feel, it's going to feel like a wish come true. You may have made a wish, or you've been hoping for something or waiting for something to come to you, and now it's finally coming, and you're seeing the repercussions of how it disconnects you from those around you. And it's a bittersweet feeling. It's like, wow, this is everything I've always hoped for, but I didn't realize it was going to be at the expense of, you know, connecting with the ones I love. Yeah, and it's a spiritual growth because you're embracing a higher perspective, And it's like, you don't actually really need like the approval and connection of others in the way that you used to need it. Because now your moral framework, your perspective on life and the things that you value are just coming from somewhere different and somewhere less shakeable than what it was in the past. Let's get some more information. What's happening in March 2026 for option number 2, Indigo Gabbro? What's happening for Indigo Gabbro, the sun, in March 2026? What's happening for Indigo Gabbro? Oh my goodness, so many cards at once. One card at a time, please. What's happening for the Indigo Gabbro option in March 2026? What's happening for the Indigo Gabbro option in March 2026? 7 of Swords, the bottom of the deck. It's like you're getting everything you've wanted. So if you've been hoping for and wishing for something, it's coming to you, but it's really bittersweet, and you feel like, wow, like I didn't realize what I was gonna have to sacrifice to embrace this, but it's the right thing for you. And it's a big collective, and so you'll know like what it is that you've been hoping for. Give us some more insight into, it's gonna make you feel isolated. It's not going to be what you envisioned. You thought that you were going to get to share it and like with your loved ones, but in reality you're going to be really alone in receiving this, and it's going to start a whole new journey of now wanting to manifest something else, like manifest like new love and new connection and new friendships, because something has been achieved but something has been lost at the same time. And this is not to scare you. I feel like it's a really good thing, and it's something that needed to happen, and that was inevitable because you were already feeling misaligned with something that you were a part of socially or politically. And so now it's like just gonna blow the top off of your worldview, and you're gonna just contend with this loneliness very quickly and easily, and then you're gonna move forward into like now embracing this new journey and path and awareness that you are on. So the part about it that you don't like, it's not something big, or it's transformational, but it doesn't hurt. It's just like, it's more of a sense of boredom, because you're going to need something to fill its place, and you're going to move on from it pretty quickly and easily because it was a long time coming. And it's just going to make you feel bored for a while, and kind of, you're definitely going to need to process it and let yourself release the past energies. And so you're going to need to take some space to yourself for a little while. For some of you, it might be a breakup. And for some of you, it might be just like leaving a friend group, or leaving a belief system, or leaving some kind of group. And then once you let yourself release it, then finally you're going to have clarity and a lot of energy to move on to the next thing, because this is something that's been stewing for a long time, and now you finally have like the space to create it and be part of it. And you're gonna feel very, really beautiful and you're gonna find a lot of new confidence, because something about this old thing was keeping you stuck in a lack of self-confidence for some reason. And so you're gonna build up a new sense of self-confidence, and it may be confidence in your abilities specifically. So you're gonna have to reinforce your ability to rely on yourself, and it's gonna feel really empowering. All right, what is coming in March 2026 for the Indigo Gabbro crystal pile? The Chariot. What's coming March 2026? Nine of Swords reversed. You're letting go of some like major stressful burden in your life. Like at first it's gonna feel like scary and like you're letting go of like what you've known, and like, but you won't, I see you're not even, okay, you will miss it. You will miss it. But you're gonna really feel like, wow, this is for the best. Like, I didn't even know how burdened I was by this thing. And I didn't know that that was the dead weight in my journey. Bottom of the deck, Two of Pentacles. And then we have the Two of Cups peeking out. And I feel you eventually finding new love, new connection, new things to kind of be a part of and put yourself into once you move on from this thing that's keeping you stuck. And for some of you, you don't have to leave this thing behind completely. There's like nothing physical that you're leaving behind. It's embracing a new mentality and a new way of being and a new way of showing up. And for most of you, that's what it is. And it comes from a mindset shift. Just like at the beginning, we saw changing your mind. And then what was the next one? Changing your mind. That went into end of an era. So something is ending, like based, like who you thought you were, to help this new version of you emerge. And you've been toying with this, grappling with this juggling act about who you were and where you're going, and you know, and so something is gonna be made clear so that you feel like you're on the right path and you're stepping into the truest version of who you are. And it's gonna feel right. You're gonna feel warm. You're gonna feel like rooted and grounded, and like your feet are in the ground because you're right exactly where you're supposed to be. And that's where that sense of success is coming from. And for a lot of you, this will be a change in location, because maybe where you are is not in alignment with who you are. And so you're going to find this sense of home. And in this home space, you're going to be able to flourish. But right now, you may not know where that home is. And the answer is in your heart. So just like really cliche, home is where the heart is. Because it's like you've been searching for that home, but you actually realize that it starts inside of yourself and that you bring it with you wherever you go. And it comes from not like trying to fit the mold of where you are, but from being the fullest sense of who you are, being the fullest expression of you. But you're also going to notice that some environments support that process and some environments diminish that process, and you're going to learn tips and tools and techniques on how to protect yourself from when you're in the wrong environments, and how to like create like those healthy boundaries. whilst also still being fully who you are, not having to hide yourself, but instead of being the hermit hiding their face, to be the high priestess who's like proudly showing who they are, but they're still, their energy is contained. They're not gonna go back and forth with you energetically. They are just going to show up because they have so much clarity of who they are and where they're coming from. But you're also not wearing your heart on your sleeve, and you're not feeling, it was a progression. This took a while. This is something you've been dealing with for a long time. Maybe you used to hide who you are, and then you used to be who you are, but only in your own space, and you had this real clarity about it, but you didn't really like to expose it because, you know, you didn't want it to come under attack. And now you're like, try me. Try me, because I know I'm strong enough. I know who I am. I know what I have to offer. And, you know, you're not gonna hurt me. I'm bulletproof. And yeah, 14 keeps being prevalent, which is like a wish fulfillment. But it's also initiating new stability. So for a lot of you, you are moving, but you may just be moving on from something mentally. Okay. Just gonna get a few more cards about this. What does Indigo Gabbro need to know for their highest good for March 2026? Oh my gosh, this is the High Priestess in this deck, and this is the Hermit in this deck. You're not really worrying anymore about like what people think of you, because you're building this solid framework that you're going to be living off of, and then you're going to express it to the world, and then finally you're like ready to embrace like whatever persecution anybody wants to throw at you. You're still going to communicate yourself authentically, and finally, like, it doesn't matter how you're received, you're going to feel more confident, because your confidence is no longer coming from how you're received. Your confidence is coming from the inside out. And that's only in March 2026. You might be experiencing some persecution because you're coming out with who you are. However, eventually you're gonna just stay firm in it, because finally you get to be you, and you're going to garner a lot of respect, and you're going to grow through this path and move on from those who don't like it. And it's going to lead you to being in your truest life, the best place for you, your best form. So you're speaking some truth this month, and you're finally coming out. Like, I get this sense you're letting your freak flag fly. Like, that's coming through for some reason. And I don't know what this pertains to. It's going to be different for all of you. But let's get some final closing messages for the Indigo Gabbro crystal for March 2026. What does the Indigo Gabbro crystal viewers need to know for March 2026? What is the highest divine truth, wisdom, clarity, and insight with ease and grace for the 12 whispers? Yeah, so this is talking to me about gossip. Like, you're no longer worried about gossip. Bottom of the deck, color. Number 40. It's like you've been hiding all this time. You've been afraid all this time. And it's shifting in a big way. And you don't even care what people think about it. Number 12, 8. All right, let's read it. Tune in to your soul voice. Your mind and heart are expanding to hear your soul whispers. You are or will soon find it easier to interpret and understand the vibes of your soul through how you feel. Open the door to soul whispers by feeling appreciative. Close the door by feeling judgmental. The messages are always there even if you're not receiving them. Practice feeling soul vibes to clarify your intention and psychic senses. Just like we know a dog can hear sounds we can't, your intuition interprets waves and impulses outside of your conscious awareness. This card is also prompting you to take notice of your dreams. When you are asleep, you cease conscious thought and resistance, making it easier for you to receive soul transmissions. If you embrace the messages that come through your dreams, you will invite more of the same. If you don't like a dream, see it as a sign to shift your focus or change a belief. You're not changing who you are, you're becoming more of who you are. Oh, 40 color, and then this has the same colors that I was pointing out at the beginning of the reading, which are those oranges, those yellows, those even greens, and reds. For some reason, maybe there's like light color therapy, red light therapy. Some of you may be doing red light therapy in March 2026, and it's gonna help you sleep better and help you feel like more like, oh yeah, because it was talking about your dreams. So if you're having trouble sleeping, doing red light therapy and meditating and recalling your dreams is going to be something really important. Or even like light color therapy is going to help awaken something within you. But when it comes to those colors specifically, it's like you're going to lean into this truer sense of self and explore your shadow and let it be a part of, let it be expressed. You're really going to be using your voice in a powerful way that a lot of people don't have the courage to, and you may be ostracized for it, but by doing that, you are spearheading real healing on a larger level. And that's not going to be for everyone, but I feel like you're going to be truth tellers. All right. I'm going to close this reading right here for you. Option number 2, if you'd like to have a personal reading with me, just go ahead and email me in the email that I'll link below, roottoflybookings@gmail.com. Otherwise, like this if it resonated, comment down below to let me know exactly what this means for you, and make sure you're subscribed. Share this with someone who might benefit. I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose the black tourmaline crystal and number 22, Our Lady Who Prevents Interference, this is your reading for what March 2026 has in store for you. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let's get right into it. What does March 2026 have in store for the black tourmaline pile? We have support. What does March 2026 have in store for black tourmaline. We have get some rest. What does March 2026 have in store for black tourmaline? We have new career, bottom of the deck, body changes. For you, option number 3, I get the impression that you need a lot of tenderness this month. You are going to be needing a lot of support. Maybe you're worried about like where your next, paycheck is going to come from, and or how you're going to make it from day to day. Or you have been for a long time, and you're finally experiencing a breakthrough. Before your reading, I was preparing with meditation and reading the message of this card, and it goes perfectly with black tourmaline, because this is about divine protection and really asking for assistance in that vein, and knowing that it is received from an unconditionally loving force and from the source of all creation. So there's something here where you're finally going to feel safe, because your safety has been a matter of concern. And I feel with this new career here, that's definitely in the area of finances and career and just that practical sense. So maybe you've been looking for a job, or you have been feeling like your current workplace is not for you for one reason or another, and it just doesn't feel supportive. And so you're finally going to get some relief from that in March 2026. All right, let's get some tarot. What does option number 3, black tourmaline, need to know about March 2026? What does pile number 3 need to know about their life in March 2026? What does option number 3 need to know about their life in March 2026? Bottom of the deck, 9 of Wands. You may resonate a little bit with pile number 1, but what I'm seeing here, sweeping changes are coming about, and you're going to experience a lot more freedom. I don't see that you won't have to work hard. For example, if you don't like your job, I don't think that you're automatically overnight going to be able to quit. But I do see that a lot of the struggle is going to be alleviated, because you're going to gain some new clarity about your path forward, and you're going to find an outlet that's going to help you to fuel this path. And also help you feel more recognized for the things that you do, or for the wisdom that you have, or whatever talents and abilities you have. You're going to feel more supported in that, and you're going to feel acknowledged. So some public recognition is coming. These are for efforts of the past, but also your efforts are going to stop feeling so ridden with burden and overwhelming, and there's going to begin to feel like natural steps forward. You're going to kind of surrender to the work that's necessary. For some of you, there's the trouble is you don't have clarity about your goals. And so instead of trying to, like, walking around in circles and trying to find some goals, you're just going to surrender and accept that caring for yourself is a little more important right now. I think February may have shown you that, given you days and feelings of exhaustion. And so you're going to return your attention back to just caring for you primarily. And through doing that, that's when you get the clarity from this healthy version of yourself. It's going to bring clarity about your next steps forward and what you really need to do for whatever challenges you have in your life. So instead of overextending yourself to care for all of the details externally, you're going to turn your attention back to the internal, to strengthen yourself, to just deal with today. And the more you do that, the stronger you're going to get. And then finally, you're going to the work that you do or the things that you have to deal with are going to become a breeze. And then that's when you're going to have that extra capacity to dream and create something more. But there is this spiritual message to be sure that you are protecting yourself, calling for protection in your day-to-day life, because I do get the sense that, you know, the energy, maybe you're in like a really harsh environment and the energy of it is what's causing that sense of burden. And so in order to get ahead, you're gonna need some like spiritual support. And that's especially in the realm of protection. All right. Oops, I just dropped a deck. One moment. A lot of you're going to be awakening some new intuitive abilities. Once you go within through meditation, you're going to be able to embrace your well-being from the inside out, and you're going to learn like what your healing abilities are and how your body, because our bodies heal themselves, and our body, minds, and spirits are all connected as one. So when we learn how our healing system works, just like when you scrape yourself, it's going to heal itself. That is true for our entire being. And when you just tune into how that carries itself out, that's what you're going to be doing in March 2026. Unlocking some new healing abilities through meditation. And so yeah, you've been looking for the answers outside of yourself, but you're going to find them inside, particularly in your heart space, particularly through your emotions. Once you clear some space in your emotions, because they're being clouded with all this fighting that you're doing with your outside environment. All right. What does Black Tourmaline pile need to know? One card at a time, please. What does Black Tourmaline pile need to know for March 2026 for their highest good with ease and grace? Nine of Wands again. Nine of Wands, Nine of Wands. What does Black Tourmaline need to know for their highest good with ease and grace? Prince of Wands and the King of Swords for March 2026. Interesting. So, yeah, there's this short-sighted perspective that's coming from, you're influenced by what is at the moment, and it's hard to see what could be, because there's just so much there's so much challenge in your environment and your day-to-day life. So that's where that divine support comes into play, and get some rest comes into play. You may feel like you can't rest, because if I rest, then I won't be able to do this and I won't be able to do that. But you really, really, really need to. And so much clarity is going to come through that. For some of you, you've been overly defensive and vigilant. And holding your cards close to your chest. And it's finally time to speak out and just know that you're protected. So maybe you need to stand up for yourself in a work environment. And you're finally, once you get your energy back and your connection back with like source and spirit, you're going to have the courage and the strength to speak your mind. And also, you're invaluable in this workplace, so it's important to speak your mind, and because instead of feeling like let down and like you'll be discarded, actually people are going to respond in a really positive way, and it's going to take a lot of that burden off of you, and you're going to be respected and you're going to be honored. And so, yeah, holding in your burdens and dealing with everything all on your own is gonna dissipate, and you're gonna be able to stand in your power really firmly. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. You're protected. You're safe to do so here. All right. Any other messages for option number 3, black tourmaline? What do they need to know for March 2026? What does black tourmaline option need to know for March 2026? You're holding back. What are you holding back? Huh. What are you holding back? Ask yourself, because that it's over with. You can't hold back any longer. It's time to speak out. And there's truth, and once you let that truth out, you'll be able to finally, once you get it off your chest, you'll finally be able to breathe and relax. There's something you've just been holding on to, and yeah, it won't let you live, and you think it's coming from your environment, but it's actually from inside. You got to give it a break. All right, final message for this one was short, sweet, to the point. Final message for black tourmaline. If it doesn't resonate, just pick another pile. But final message for black tourmaline, March 2026. What does black tourmaline option need to know for March 2026? Bottom of the deck, 27 joy. I'm sorry, 27 joy is the message, and then bottom of the deck is 5 healing. As I was saying, big changes, number 5, healing, a lot of healing energy coming to you, like, because something's blocking you. And it's in your throat chakra, and you need to let it out. All right. Let's read number 27, joy. Discover what you love. If a thought does not give you joy, then search for one that does. Thank that thought for showing you where you don't feel joy, and then reach for a pleasing thought. You can empower yourself by choosing joyful thoughts. You will disempower yourself by choosing sad thoughts. What will you choose today? There's almost always something to make you feel at ease in every situation. It's up to you to find that. Try reaching for a joyous thought right now. Look around your house at what gives you joy. Turn toward the joy in your life. If you can't find it outside, go within and create inner joy. It is not always the easiest thing to do. However, it is one of the most worthwhile things you can do for your physical and mental well-being. Open your heart to allow blissful inspiration to direct your actions, and you'll give without expectation. Joy is your natural state of being. Now is the time to honor it. Yeah, just as I was saying before, it's not always the easiest thing to do to find joy within. So if you can't find it outside, go within and create inner joy. It's not always the easiest thing to do. I'm really curious. Okay, I get it. So you've been looking for truth. You've been looking for support. You've been looking for clarity from the outside. And in doing so, nothing resonates just right, because you are someone who's meant to speak truth, not absorb truth from others. And that's going to be a major key and awakening for you in March 2026. So I'm going to close it there. Pile number 3, black tourmaline. If you'd like to have a personal reading with me, please email me. I'll have the email address in the description box down below. Otherwise, make sure to like this video, subscribe, comment, let me know how it resonates, share it with anyone who you think might benefit, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for being here. Bye! Hi, pile number 4. If you chose Our Lady of Ripening on the Vine and this, I believe, topaz crystal, this is your reading for what March 2026 has in store for you. Let's get right into it, but first, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's go. What does March 2026 have in store for the topaz crystal here? What does March 2026 have in store for this topaz crystal? New career, spiritual growth, self-employment, bottom of the deck motivation. You are called to get yourself out there. Pile number 4. Get yourself out there. You have been sleeping on yourself. You've been sleeping on an idea. Our Lady of Ripening on the Vine, it's about the fruit that you bear, whether you believe that you're ready or not. It's like someone somewhere needs what you have to offer. And so if you're not offering it, you're depriving the world of your gifts. You may be wanting to start an endeavor in the healing profession. I have so many people in this pile, you're still, with all of the spiritual warfare being committed upon the spiritual community, you have maintained really strong connection with your soul, but for some reason you feel oppressed by it, unfortunately. And this is your message, that in March 2026 you're going to be recovering your power and your spark to persevere and to continue to do your healing work. You know, I hear a lot of people saying that, especially in the United States, like, oh, this is the end, and it's the end of democracy, or AI is taking over, or the environment is screwed, whatever have you. But we know here that our connection with the divine is more powerful than any of these artificially manufactured distractions and fear-based energies being imposed upon us. And even though we may feel scared sometimes, and it might infiltrate our perception of reality, at the end of the day, we are the hope, the power, and the change. Okay? Let's get some tarot. What does pile number 4 need to know for March 2026? What can pile number 4 expect for March 2026? So much joy, feelings of fulfillment, feelings of success, really being able to feast upon life, and also to feed some collective or co-workers or family, or some kind of, like, you will be so full of life. When I think of Our Lady of Ripening on the Vine, it's, the message in this book is about fruit, using that as a metaphor. And I see this Oracle of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and she's so, juicy. And then you have the honey in the background and the bees coming to and fro. And I just see your energy is what's ripening. And you're called to not question yourself. But the thing is, you're no longer questioning yourself. You're feeling ready, you're feeling powerful, and you're sharing what you have to give to the world, especially by means of truth, insight, clarity, and love. Something powerful is flowing through you. What does option number 4, our topaz crystal, need to know for March 2026? It's a culmination point. You've been working on this. You've been planning this. You've been learning who you are. You've chosen this path. You've been manifesting for years, maybe for decades, maybe for lifetimes. There may be travel coming about for some of you, but this is a divine reckoning, and Spirit is on your side. This is definitely a pile of like healers, and maybe you felt like, maybe you got distracted. I know in 2020, like, I believe that a lot of the spiritual community was so powerful and confident, and we were shifting the trajectory of humankind for the better. We were raising our consciousness, and there's been such an attack through media upon those spiritual communities, because these are these are powerful tools for connecting in a bigger way than ever before, and they can also be used for evil. So there was spiritual attack happening, and I feel that maybe, you know, I don't know why I'm getting the word procrastinated for that reason, because it just tripped you up just a little bit, but not fully ever. You maintained connection with your soul, and maybe you had to find clarity through the murkiness, and that's all part of the process. And now your energy is being integrated and settled into this lightning bolt of change, clarity, and potency. And it's us, it's we together as a healing community that are spearheading this and that are coming together for the greater good on an energetic level. So every time you meditate and every time you lean into source, just know you're with your brothers and sisters as well. Final messages for March 2026. What is coming in? What is in store for pile number 4, topaz crystal, for March 2026? What's in store for topaz crystal for March 2026? What's in store for topaz crystal in March 2026? So every time you feel like a novice, and every time you feel trapped, and every time you're over analyzing things and overthinking and procrastinating, just know it's all an illusion. And come back to source, and come back to that feeling of being supported and knowing that you're not alone. Let's get closing message. The secret language of light. With the secret language of light here. What is pile number 4, topaz 18, let go, came out? I didn't even ask yet, so I'm going to keep going. But for some of you, there's something to let go of. And what I was thinking of when I was thinking that, I'm like trying to search for like a more intricate message, because this one ended up way shorter than all of the other ones. But the thing is, it's coming forward so clearly and so powerfully, and this motivation energy here, that is what's being activated within you. And so there's no need for me to like get into the weeds of what's happening, because that's what's creating this procrastination, is this overthinking and overanalyzing, when there is this divine spark that is lighting you up and asking you to just go for it, whatever that means and looks like for you. So what is the highest divine truth, wisdom, clarity, and insight with unconditional love for pile number 4? What is, it said soul song, but I want one that feels right. What is the highest divine? See, that's more of that energy. That's more of that energy there. What is the highest divine truth, wisdom, clarity, and insight? Number 14, alignment. Bottom of the deck, 37, focus in reverse. So maybe you've been struggling with focus because you're trying to focus from your mind, but focus actually comes from aligning with the right frequency. And that's a huge awakening coming in March for you. Number 14, alignment. A covenant of mind, body, and spirit. Your soul is your biggest fan. It knows the truth of you and loves you unconditionally. It is continuously streaming this information to you. To tune in, your mind, body, and spirit must all agree in the now. Do this by meditating, focusing on your soul name, enjoying something you love, or having a nap. It is not up to your soul to zap you into alignment. Its job is to maintain your soul station so you have a frequency to tune into. The nature of physical life is to create and expand. Sometimes life experiences will pull you out of alignment so you can understand these experiences from a different angle. When you are out of alignment, you will automatically ask questions and want to create something different. Through this process, you gain clarity about your passions. Being out of alignment can feel awful. It's easy to blame a person or situation when we feel bad, but instead of asking why something is happening, take a breath, return to neutral, and ask what you can create from the situation. And remember, your soul is a consistent, loving home you can return to always. Amen. That feels complete. Option number 4. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. If you'd like a personal reading, feel free to reach out at the email address in the description box below, and I'll see you on our next reading. Bye.